All right, guys. Got yet again horrible, horrible news. These are Elon cuts. These are Doge cuts. These are Trump cuts that we have to talk about. Sam Stein says absolute bloodbath at HHS, NIH, and the CDC this morning. This is from the other day. Generation of scientists and healthcare officials have been wiped out. One of the things we learned is like this. I believe it's Parkinson's expert researcher. He lost his job. This is what I'm saying. This is why there was a poll the other day where 75% of American scientists said, yeah, we think we're going to leave the U.S. 75%. Why? Because they're taking a sledgehammer to research and development. And they probably naively assume, oh, the private market will pick it up. No, they fucking won't. Some of these things, you invest in it, you don't get a return on investment, maybe ever. Sometimes you don't get a return on investment for 20 fucking years. So, I'm sorry, but the private market is not going to fill in the gaps. This is squarely a government function to try to create new medicine and do research. So anyway, let's get into more specifics here. Mass layoffs have begun at the Department of Health and Human Services with approximately 10,000 employees across agencies like the CDC, FDA, and NIH being dismissed as part of a major restructuring under Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. So this is 10,000 employees being fired. This is on top of anywhere from 100,000 to 250,000 people already being fired because of Elon's illegal cuts. That's a lot of fucking people. That's a lot of people. And we're talking about all across the government. Remember when air traffic controllers were being fired as planes were routinely crashing? Remember that? Remember when they fired the top nuclear safety official in the country and then had to get him back? Remember when they destroyed the Department of Education? Remember when they said we're going to cut all the Social Security offices? 50% of them? Remember that? They're destroying the country, bro. The initiative aims to consolidate 28 divisions into 15 and create a new entity, the Administration for Healthy America, while reducing HHS's workforce by nearly a quarter. Key programs affected include HIV prevention, injury prevention, and global health efforts. Well, this is on top of the U.S. aid cuts, where, as you all know, we've seen the actual numbers from a whistleblower on that. We're talking about hundreds of thousands or millions of deaths as a result of those cuts. That's what we're talking about. People dying from malaria, people dying from HIV, AIDS because they can't get their medicine. Experts and employees have expressed outrage over the potential long-term consequences for health and safety, where warning these cuts could severely impact public health and scientific research, with some divisions entirely eliminated. So let me give you some more specifics on these cuts. Agency for Older Adults and People with Disabilities to be shuttered under HHS cuts. Former head of the agency sees the closure of the Administration for Community Living as an attack on vulnerable populations. All right, so just remember this name, right? The Administration for Community Living. Now, you hear that, and maybe like most people in the country, they hear that, they go, that sounds nice, but I don't really know what it is, so maybe it makes sense to cut it. Just wait. You're going to learn exactly what this is. With the announcement by the Department of Health and Human Services that it will slash its workforce, consolidate divisions, and close regional offices, an agency focused on older adults and people with disabilities has become collateral damage. By the way, those people, it is not easy for them to fill this gap of the stuff they're going to lose. The Administration for Community Living will be disbanded, and its critical programs will be integrated into other HHS agencies, such as the Administration for Children and Families, the Office of the Assistant Secretary for Planning and Evaluation, and the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, the HHS said. The department did not say which ACL programs were considered critical and which would be eliminated. Quote, these are programs that truly are life-saving and critical, Allison Barkoff, who headed the ACL from 2021 to 2024, told MarketWatch. Dozens of millions of older adults and people with disabilities may not know the name ACL, but they know senior centers and Meals on Wheels programs that touch their lives every day. In fiscal year 2022, the ACL provided more than 261 million meals to older adults. Assistance such as respite care to more than 1.5 million family caregivers, and independent living services to nearly 250,000 people with disabilities. According to the HHS announcement, the department's current 82,000 full-time employees will be reduced to 62,000. Meanwhile, 28 divisions will be consolidated into 15, and the number of regional offices will be cut from 10 to 5 as part of that reorganization. The ACL will no longer exist. Holy fucking shit. They're destroying Meals on Wheels. They're destroying services for the disabled who desperately need it. Oh my, they have no idea what they're messing with here, bro. Or maybe they do, and they simply don't care. They simply don't care. Quote, this does not save money. It does not make HHS more lean, Barkov said, noting the ACL's budget was $2.5 billion. The total HHS budget is $1.7 trillion. Barkov, who is now an associate professor of health law and policy at George Washington University's Milken Institute of Public Health, said without the ACL, a safety net for seniors and people with disabilities will disappear. Will disappear. This is just fascist 101 shit, right? Really old people, who fucking needs them? Fuck them, they're on their own. Get rid of Medicare, get rid of Social Security, get rid of whatever programs they rely on. Disabled people, gee, they drag us all down. Let's fucking cut everything that they get. This is fucking fascist shit. Quote, it will have an enormous impact, she said, and could affect more than 2,500 community-based organizations across the country that were supported by the ACL. So in other words, guys, the way this works is you have all these people on the ground who do the actual work and who, give out the meals and things of that nature, and they're effectively partnered with this agency in the government, which is like a sub-agency to the main agency. And they're taking a sledgehammer to the agency. And do you have any idea how many people is going to destroy? Do you have any idea? Any idea? Meals on Wheels, the national leadership organization, supports more than 5,000 community-based programs that collectively serve millions of individuals in each year. So let me give you an estimate. Meals on Wheels programs in the U.S. are often cited as serving around 2.4 million seniors annually. Seniors who can't really feed themselves. Seniors who, for whatever reason, maybe they're incapacitated, maybe they have injuries, maybe they're just really fucking old. They don't have money, they don't have family they can rely on. 2.4 million seniors are fed every year from Meals on Wheels, and they're destroying Meals on Wheels. If you're making a list of things to cut in our government, literally the last thing on that list might be Meals on Wheels. Literally the last thing on that list might be aid to the hundreds of thousands of disabled people. That would probably be like the first thing you protect if you want to view yourself as civilized, as humane, as reasonable, as empathetic, as altruistic, as a functioning country. That's on the top of your list of what not to cut. They're cutting it. They're cutting it. We're going to hear some fucking horror stories about all this, man, moving forward. This is criminal. This is absolutely criminal. And this is at the same time, remember, somebody released a chart. What percentage of the Doge cuts went to the Pentagon? It's like 0.05%. And by the way, it's only like DEI programs that they cut. So in other words, still have the military-industrial complex chugging along, still giving no-bid contracts to the big boys like Raytheon and Boeing and Honeywell, right? Pentagon still can't account for over 60% of its money. It failed 7 fucking audits. We got war profiteering like crazy. Leave that alone. Cut the support for disabled people and cut the Meals on Wheels for seniors. If shit like this doesn't lead to an uprising, I genuinely and sincerely don't know what will. I genuinely don't know. Because they are doing every single thing they can to piss off every reasonable person in the country. And people just cannot sit there and take it. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.